Hello and welcome to Beyond the Headlines. I'm Jane Gogodas. In this week's edition, we get to Sayini, a shoreline village in Salima, where people are being terrorized by rising levels of water in Lake Malawi.
All this was dry land, and this used to be a busy road used regularly by trucks, but as you can see now, the road is gone. Over there were big mansions and our executive rest house, where fish traders used to lodge.
It means we have forever lost our property. We can hardly reclaim anything.
Once again, welcome. Now, communities along the shores of Lake Malawi and Shire River are battling an unprecedented rise in water levels. All the lakeshore districts have been affected, but so far it is Salima and Mangochi that seem to have borne the brunt of this natural calamity. The two districts have the highest number of displaced people, with some living in camps upland. Their properties, including businesses, are submerged in water. It is apparent that the rising water levels have disrupted people's socio-economic life. Crop fields are under water, destroyed, and their businesses have folded up. The situation has left many traumatized and in need of psychosocial support, besides humanitarian aid, of course. MBC went to Sayini, a submerged shoreline village in traditional authority Kululanga, to see how people there are surviving the water terror.
In Sayini village, in traditional authority Kululanga in Salima, life is increasingly becoming unbearable for its residents. The area is experiencing high levels of rising water, which have left houses submerged and damaged, forcing about 500 households to upland camps. Every day, the water is rising, submerging the houses, and inevitably forcing many out of their houses and out of business. The entire village so overflooded that to move from one place to another, you need to canoe your way through. People have no choice but to adopt this as the new way of life. Like other shoreline villages along Lake Malawi, the situation is dire for the residents of Sayini village. Mubarak is one of the volunteers working to help people affected by the rising water levels in Sayini village.
Where we are now was known as Miseufolo. This is where the main road from the lake crossed with the road from Ewazili village. On the other side is Robert village. We are now passing through Sayini village. All this was dry land, and this used to be a busy road used regularly by trucks as they went to collect fish suppliers from Chigolo beach, but as you can see now, the road is gone, and in its place is a water route plied by canoes and locally made boats. Over there were big mansions and our executive rest house, where fish traders used to lodge. On your left are the rooms where visitors used to sleep. They were well furnished, good beds and mattresses. It's only television screens that they lacked. And over there, that's where people bought cold drinks. and accessed other services like financial transactions through Airtel money. The entire village is underwater. This used to be dry land here, and there were all kinds of shops around. Now they have all fallen down. Over there,
so as our producer said, we got nothing. We got no how. We got nowhere to go and to have a food, what we call everyday life, and everything. We had our businesses doing here so far, but now we can't even. We don't have even a capital to start our business also. So it's hard to us also to have a business. What I mean is to have a capital to start a business. We had everything, but everything is gone with this what we call floods.
In Sayini is Chigolo Beach, which was the commercial heartbeat of the village. The beach was a business magnet for traders, came from as far as Blantyre, Lilongwe and other parts of the country who were here to buy fish, mostly bonya. It was arguably the country's main supplier of bonya fish. Now, says this man, the area is an abandoned wastewater land, abandoned by half of the villagers and all the fish traders.
The entire village is underwater. This used to be dry land here, and there were all kinds of shops around. Now, they have all fallen down. Over there was a borehole, and there was a saloon. As you can see, the walls are falling. Over here was where we dried our fish. There were 13 fish dryers and a shed. We had come here running away from the lake bank. We dried our fish here and rented the dryers at 10,000 kwacha per dryer. So imagine having 13 dryers.
I mean, my business yatu timanikira somba tikagula maboti somba zija ndoti timanikira batandangati amene 1 2 3 4 ndoti thanda limozi munthu kuyanikira timakhala 10,000 rand pa tsiku ndio khenawo matandala okwanira ngati 13 ndekuti taluza kwambiri.
Over there was a shed where we used to preserve fish. All the facilities destroyed by water. We are greatly affected. We don't know when the water will subside, but it will take a very long time. We hope maybe by October, but then it will coincide with the rainy season, which will mean more and more water. It means we have forever lost our property. We can hardly reclaim anything. We have to restart our businesses elsewhere. As I said, this was the hub of business. Fishers and traders from far and wide used to meet here. The lake keeps shifting and shifting. This was another rest house business. All this investment, 20 rooms or more, all gone to waste.
The once thriving fish business and the accompanying businesses have folded up. This man, attracted by the business prospects Chigolo Beach offered, moved into the area in the late 1990s and started building his businesses here. In 2001, he started building this 150-room lodge for the traders who patronized Chigolo Beach, investing more than 25 million kwacha in life savings. All that investment is gone to waste.
This rest house belongs to me. My rest house had 50 rooms, but because of the water, I have lost everything. This rest house was my source of income. Now that it is submerged in water, I have no any other source of income. I survive on the little my children in South Africa sent to me.
Koma mulibeti kena kali konse inuyo mwote mungu wakala mfandi muona ni malumu zakulu tupalosi panalo wasa ndrama zambiri manduza kuti 25 million inalowa pano nde munthu ameneyo ndoti alibiletu kena kali konse
I was not even registered for social support. There are others who are receiving the social cash transfer funds. People think I have money, but I have literally nothing.
Here, the damage is enormous. Everyone has lost something. Many are highly traumatized, and some have developed depression. Precious Katundu is a psychosocial counselor working in this area.
Actually, we are here to provide psychosocial support, looking at the condition of floods here. People have been really affected in terms of financial support, and there's a great loss to them where they are grieving or they have lost a lot of properties like shops, their business. They were depending on their business, fishing, and now they have nowhere to go and they found their daily food. So they have really been affected psychologically. So we are here to provide, to be with them. They should not feel like they are alone. There are people out there who can support them as we are doing here. They have lost many things here and they need that help.
MBC's Yapatura Nyirenda and Chukondi Pinda visited the devastated area recently to document the psychosocial effect the water rising levels are having on the people of Sayini village.
It's shocking, and all the people have all the reasons to grieve. You know, to come back, investment takes a long time for you to have it. And now that it has just been lost in a day, after years and years of building that investment, it's painful. It's painful. I feel their pain. I empathize with them. And thinking of helping them come back to life. Mental health is the way to go. And I plead with the Ministry of Health to take this seriously, because these people are hurting terribly. And if nothing is done, a lot of people will end up disgruntled. They are already disgruntled, but I don't know what word I can put, but they need help.
We've seen just one individual who has lost 50 rooms, a rest house here, and you've been to the place now. How do you now connect between what he was saying in terms of his mental health status and what we have seen on the ground, or in water, not on the ground.
Actually, I'm running short of words. I really don't know what to say. But in hearing them, they made mention that behavior has changed. So if behavior has changed, that is a stage. It means their mental issues are progressing. That's why I'm saying, Ministry of Health, please do something about this. Otherwise, people are not okay. They need immediate help.
This is so pathetic, very pathetic. As you see, we have actually seen almost 50, 50 rooms gone, and these rooms, the owner, used to get some money out of it, but as of now, he has nothing at all. So it is very, very pathetic, and it is very, very sad. They are actually traumatized. They would like to have assistance economically and of course mentally as well. They have to be assisted indeed. Without that, they say that it will take time for them to recover all this. So I believe that everything will be done in time as it is at the moment.
This is not the first time this place is submerged in water. A similar occurrence took place back in 1979, and after the water subsided, the community moved back into the area and rebuilt their homes and businesses. Now, they are left to counter their losses, and their cries are getting louder by the day. For the lodge owner and many others who had vibrant businesses at Chigolo Beach, they have to start rebuilding their lives from the scratch again. It's not that simple. This tragedy will remain imprinted in their minds. One thing though, they have resolved to take their businesses far away from the lake shoreline.
As seen in the report, MBC's Emmanuel Tuala was one of the producers on the ground filming for a program known as Mulato, translated as The Bridge, whose main objective is to link psychosocial support to people battered by natural calamities. We first asked him to describe the suffering he saw.
Just to look at the people, you might not realize that they're going through problems. Because I think here in Malawi, we have grown some resilience to problems. So you might see them laughing, you might see them washing their dishes, you might see them chatting as women in their own groups, men also talking and laughing.
It's like life is normal.
Absolutely. But when you get down to them and try to engage them one by one, you actually see that each one of them has a story, a story that they are deeply traumatized. Some of them have lost everything. One of the people that we saw, he had built 50 rooms and they're all gone. He had 100 of them in the first instance and he added 50, but due to the swelling of the Lake Malawi, all the rest houses, all rooms are gone.
Very inhabitable. People can't go there.
No.
You can't get any business now.
No way. So the life of them, when you see them from without getting a microscope, you see their lives are okay, but they're hurting. Yeah.
Okay. And what are they saying themselves when you speak to the people? What kind of stories are they telling you?
Most of them, it's not about the loss of life. It's not about that somebody else lost his or her life, but it's the displacement. They used to be, their lives were okay. They used, at the beach, to go to beach, it's a fishing village. And being a fishing village, there are lots of activities that happen there. People run different business. People do a lot of things to earn a living. Some send their children to school. So there are lots of activities. But that disruption of activities, there are no more way of life or living when it has been disrupted by natural disaster. Then they are out of their place, they're in camps. Some of them have never lived with a stranger, but here they are in one tent living with somebody else that they have never been with in their lives. How do they ensure that their goods are protected, even in that particular tent, How do they trust their friends? So their cultures, their language, there are so many things that there people are complaining, and for them just to get displaced from their place, it's a concern for them.
You're talking of different types of people, children, women, men, and then you also have elderly people. When you talk to them, you're saying they're traumatized. In what state are they? I know they're affected differently.
Yeah. Hopelessness. I mean, that's what I saw in all of them, most of them, because they thought the cyclone Freddy came, and it went. So they did their farming, grew their rice, their maize. Lake Malawi started swelling, swept away all their fields. So these are double shocks. It was Cyclone Freddy that came through, and then now this time around is now their crops, their fields are gone. Drought also came in, so it meant even the little harvest that they could have had is also not there because of El Nino. So these are three or triple shocks or double shocks to them. So they were expecting that they would go back to their life. But here they are still in camps. 2-3 years. It's not a simple thing, Frank, for you to be away from your place for 3 years, living at a camp, at a Shugoro camp, every day, 365 days times 3. You can see how traumatized, how hopelessness the people are. But us coming in there, talking to them, we saw some different perspective. That I think this is an area that has been neglected for so long. Not only providing blankets and tents, as I said, but maybe talking to them, encouraging them, talking to them, let them air out their frustrations and their concerns. To us, we thought we have done our part as programming from MBC.
Apart from psychosocial therapy, what else do they need as of now?
Well, most of them, you see, they don't see that as a need, psychosocial support. I think what we found out was they need more blankets, more food, more maize, more flour, more clothes. So people should not forget that this country was hit by Cyclone Freddy and the other natural disasters. Because we're not talking about as the media, people think people are no longer there. They have gone to their places. They are doing their own, what they used to do. But no, people are still in camps as we are talking right now. We've been to Katabe, we've been to Zomba at Kachuru Beach, where we met a woman, cervical cancer at advanced stage. She's still at the camp. She can't go to hospital because there's need for her transport money to go to Queens and receive medication. She's been to Kenya several times, but now maybe doctors have said you'll go back and wait for the day that you die. I don't know, but she's there at Kachuru in Zomba. She's got children. She's just waiting for time to die. She told us clearly that people, I've seen Antwagu Aguyangana. You see what that means is because there's no help coming, but you want to live, but you are dying because you can't receive, because there are so many problems. Even your family members say, how can we help you? Because we are also in the deeper troubles. So each one is looking for his or her own life. To me, that's a point of concern. So I think, basically, to answer your question, Frank, is that people need mental health services now than ever. I think we can still sustain other things. People have gone to their homes to to their fields to cultivate, yes, but they still need that mental health service being provided to them.
I'm so sure for you personally, it was quite emotional to shoot this film and talk to these people, to hear their plight.
The visuals that you have recorded in the areas that you have been, they tell a bigger story. And we are so grateful to our colleagues in USA, as I said, who have partnered with us, MBC, to expose this area. But as I said, where we have been, I don't think any media has ever been there. Because I think there are areas that people said you are the first people as MBC coming to us to talk to us on this kind of state. People think our lives have gone back. We are doing our normal things, but it's been to me, it's been both at my as a career, it's been a highest point, but of course, there's been the emotionally roller coaster for me to having to hear and having to see the things that were filmed.
Overall, I think they're so happy that you went over there to hear their stories. They now believe that their stories are now being heard nationally, they're being amplified.
Where we have been, I don't think any media has ever been there, because I think there are areas that people said you are the first people as MBC coming to us to talk to us on this kind of state. People think our lives have gone back. We are doing our normal things. As I said, this is the first time that media is coming to them to talk to them on their mental health status. They didn't think about mental health issues. What they thought was food for today, clothes for today, shelter for today. But they didn't realize that they're hurting inside their heads, inside their brains, so that their mental health status was compromised. They didn't realize that. To me, as a career, it's been a highest point. But of course, there's been the emotionally roller coaster for me to having to hear and having to see the things that were filmed.
Our very own Emmanuel Twala there. By the way, he was explaining the situation in Sayini, a shoreline village in Salima, which is entirely submerged by water. Well, you've heard for yourselves. These people need help, psychosocial and otherwise. So let's join hands to assist them in the spirit of Ubuntu. And with that appeal, we end this edition of Beyond the Headlines. As usual, we love hearing from you on any of the stories we carry or you want us to carry. Get in touch on MBC Facebook page or WhatsApp on the number scrolling below. I'm Jane Gogodas. See you again next week. Thanks for watching.